What's happening, everyone? I was just chilling out. Just finished watching Homeland. I got some schmutz on my shirt here. Got a lot of new people today. Over 100 people subscribed on this channel, which is pretty amazing, really. Who's new that just subscribed? Anybody? Because I know there's definitely some new people. Man, it is crazy. Yeah. So, me, David, you're new. Okay, I want to see who's new here. Lauren, Lonnie, Branyan, what's up? The awkward beard period. Jason, welcome. Big Matt. Foul Fish, I know you. What's up, Ray? Hands are good. Afghan Wigs, gentlemen. Greg Dooley. Love the Afghan Wigs. Love that record. That was an amazing record. I haven't listened to it in a long time. I gotta back. I probably listened to it in 20 years. Let's see here. Desmond, what's happening? the Beatitudes, that's right. There you go. I'm apparently related to King Richard III. My wife told me. Looking at our DNA tests. And what's up, Steve? And she said we have a common relative from 13,000 years ago. So, distant cousin. Anyways, that's pretty interesting, actually. I think a lot of people are cousins through him. I know he was a jerk, right? Richard III, they bludgeoned him. Oh, Yorkshire man, there you go, Brett. 13,000, not 1,300. Oh boy. Anyways, that's pretty interesting, right? Okay, what is this here? Is 442 432 based on music just conspiracy theory? Oh man, this is just it's like anything, you know. It's like any I don't know if there's a conspiracy to I don't know if I'd call it a conspiracy. But you know, there's people that are 432 truthers or whatever they're going to be called. Yeah, they act like it's a conspiracy or something, you know. So don't go there. Sacred geometry theory. There you go. So I was asked. So in my Berkeley clinic that I did yesterday, or talk, the one of the professors asked me about. He said, well, he was talking to me and Carol, and he said, well, since middle C is I did a video on Kelly. I did a video on 432 also. It's a 3-minute video. You should watch it. It's a bunch of baloney because people didn't know what 432 was until about less than 100 years ago. No, what Tooth Goose? Watch my video on it. Adam did it about a week after me. Watch Adam's video on it. That's funny. Adam and I talked about it when we were up in New York. We were cracking up about it. So he says, um, so this professor, yeah, I can name the professor. It was Prince Charles Alexander was the professor. So he says, well, since middle C is 261.63 hertz and C sharp is 271 hertz, what is 269? And you know, this is the tough thing. There are generally agreed upon pitches that we have that they're pretty much agreed upon in Western music, right? Based on the tuning system of 440. There was a piano builder in Germany, in Vienna, that built pianos for Mozart and Beethoven, and they apparently found his tuning fork, and the A was to 421.6 when they analyzed it now, but they couldn't analyze it then because there was no way to measure hertz. Couldn't measure frequencies. People that lived back in the Renaissance era, in the Baroque era, people that play early music, Baroque music, that play on original instruments tuned to 415, which is a half step down. 415 is an A flat. If you listen to an ensemble playing the Brandenburg concertos that's playing on period instruments, they're going to play a half step down. I noticed that when I started going on YouTube. And I would hear things and be like, well, that's weird. I'd hear the G major, but it would be down a half step. And I'd be thinking, like, what's wrong with this recording? This is really weird. And then it occurred to me they're playing on period instruments. And so then I realized, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, period instruments, they tune a half step lower. So it's 415, so it's a half step off. But, there's these generally agreed upon pitches. And they make tuning forks, Roberta, for every note. There have been these generally agreed upon pitches since, I don't know, the late 50s, 1959, something like that, that people refer to as the pitches that we use in Western music. Now, obviously, there's different tuning systems that, there are different tuning systems that have, other notes, microtones in there. There are microtones that are in between the half steps. But generally, in Western music, we use these 12 notes that we've agreed upon. So, that's, people that want to listen to 432, I say go for it. Go redo your record collection. What do I care? Knock yourself out. So that's my view on this. I explained to him that people. He thought I was gonna. I talked about this last night. He thought I was gonna teach them how to develop perfect pitch, because something got misconstrued from Michelle talking to him. She seemed to tell him that I helped her develop perfect pitch, which is not true. So I explained to them that you can't develop perfect pitch as an adult. I said, much to the dismay of people that have watched my video that say that disagree with me. So yeah, he hasn't been paying attention. um, it was interesting though. It was interesting. I think he was kind of bummed. I did ask the people in the class because it was a bunch of kids that were all seniors. I would say they're all 22, probably 21, 22. So I asked them how many people had tinnitus. I see about 5 kids raised their hand. And Prince Charles raised his hand, and so did the other teacher, Jason. They all raised their hand, or they raised their hands, and it was interesting because I never knew anyone when I was in college that had it, and I never heard anyone mention it ever. So I thought it was really interesting that young kids developing it, and I got to think that has something to do with wearing that people wearing open earbuds that turn them up way too loud because you're getting so much external noise. It's you turn them up much louder. So earbuds are incredibly bad. I don't wear them. I don't let my kids wear them. I don't let my kids wear earphones at all. Period. You have one set of ears. The cochlea is apparently extremely difficult if it's lanced at all. If you know any type of if the cochlea is, you can't have surgery on your cochlea. If it's opened up, you go deaf instantly. Those hair cells that are floating around in this, I guess it's a type of saline or something, are extremely delicate and sensitive. There's, I forget how many, 13,000 of them that cover the frequency range of 20,000 to 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. And, once those get, by explosive sounds, they can get bent or snapped, and then they don't function anymore, and you can get gaps in your hearing. When you have this thing, the 4K notch that people get in their 40s and 50s, that is losing, you have a decrease in amplitude in those frequencies around 4K. Now, I've said this before, it doesn't mean you can't, that you can't hear those frequencies, but they're diminished. The amplitude is not as loud. That's what hearing aids do. And there was a guy that was at the clinic that had hearing aids in both ears. Peter just asked about larger headphones that cover your whole ear. That's what you want to wear. You want to wear larger headphones. Full, ones that cover your whole ear. I was wearing them in my video yesterday, right here. I wear them when I have to do something involving where I can't have the bleed of closed back. Yeah. Yep. So take care of your hearing. It's really important. Really important. I was a couple people have sent me emails about a video on YouTube on another YouTube channel. A very small YouTube channel where some guy is telling people they don't have to have a good ear to play jazz. And the guy posts Dylan's video in the comments. Some guy, I don't know where he's from. He's Dutch or something, or maybe Swedish. And he says that you don't have to have a good ear to play jazz. Long Trang, what's up? You didn't call me Beato. I said, he made a comment and he referred to me as Beato. And I said, refer to me as Rick. Only wise guys say Beato. So this guy states that he has Dylan's video, and he says, well, there's no one that has a better ear than Dylan, but Dylan can't play like, what was his thing? Like, and he names all these famous jazz guitar players, which was, obviously absurd. He's taking a video of an 8-year-old and saying that, well, Dylan can't improvise because like these guys like Kurt Rosenwinkel. So it doesn't matter. So you don't need to have a good ear, or it doesn't matter how good your ear is. It doesn't matter how good your ear is because it doesn't help your jazz improvisation. Something incredibly stupid. So yeah. Anyways, I saw you comment on that link, Ray. I saw you comment on his video. I saw you and Jari in there. Obviously, it's a stupid argument. The better your ear is, the better you can improvise. Silliness, right, Brett? What did I say? He doesn't even... Ray, you don't even remember. Go read your comment again. You're the top comment on there. Oh, you didn't. You weren't commenting on that, but this was a completely idiotic argument about you don't have to have a good ear to play jazz, which is, you have to have a good ear to do anything in music if you want to be good at it. So you're a way to inspire people is is probably not to tell them that they, hey, you don't have to be good. You don't have to be good to be a good player. Anyways, completely absurd. Can we see the Berkeley video? Thanks. There is no Berkeley video. Brett, the better the ear, the better the theory, the better musician. Exactly. Roberta asked if that was Pro Tools on episode 18. That was Pro Tools, yes. Improvisational skill isn't hampered by perfect pitch, nor is it a guarantee. People with perfect pitch are helped by their improvisations are helped, obviously. But if you have great relative pitch, it doesn't matter. Because once you know what key you're in, you know what the intervals are. So it's really, perfect pitch is, you know what perfect pitch is great for? If you're playing a tune that you don't know, and you're trying to solo over it without a lead sheet, and you've never heard it before. That's about all, perfect pitch for improvisation. That's one of the things it's really good for. Otherwise, having great relative pitch is, is just as good as anything. So, I don't know why people. Speaking of the Max Martin thing, I laugh when I hear people say, "Oh, this is so easy to do." I mean, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. If people could do it, then they would do it. So that sound design that they do is really difficult. And anyone that says that they can do that is full of it completely. That takes incredible to come up with parts and find sounds that match things that will match. When I was layering 5 different keyboard parts and they all fit perfectly together in different frequency ranges with different tones, that's incredibly tedious to do. It is really difficult to do. I know because I've tried to do it. So when I read that stuff, somebody said that, oh, I could do that. And I said, no, bro, you can't do that. Sorry. You think you can, but you can't. If you could, you'd be worth $300 million like Max Martin. Now, that doesn't mean that's the kind of music I like to listen to. Is it art or science? Is it art or science? It's art. I mean, there's an art to it. What do you mean, is it art or science? You have to determine what to make a. You're basically taking, it's sound design. You're taking a sound. You take a bass sound. Then you have to find a sub bass, and they're using this sidechain compression, which basically ducks the attacks of them. And then you have to find the right low end that goes with that. And there's 1,000 patches, that you can choose. But to find just the right ones that don't interfere with the kick drum, then you find another layer that goes above that. That's kind of like a sharper sounding bass with has more of a square wavy thing. This layering is incredibly difficult to do. Sound design and arrangement. It takes a lot of experimentation. And now there's things that they're doing there that are predictable, that they know what they're going to do. For example, the swells that he does before the choruses. There's a big, he probably has a big folder of these kind of swells. It's orchestration, exactly. Daniel said it right there. It is absolutely orchestration in programming. And Max Martin used those kind of swells. Everyone that does pop music does those kind of swells. John Williams does those kind of swells too. They do them with cymbals. Shh. And it's the same thing. People have been using it since the Romantic era. Cymbal swells. They build up. That's why people have these things called dynamics. And then they stop abruptly and it leads you into a new section. People have been doing this for, in classical music forever. Tom, I totally agree. It was grooving very hard. And that glass thing and the other counterpart to that, I mean, that stuff is just brilliant. It is. How much of the track was produced before the vocals were added? I don't know. I have no idea. But unfortunately, I know there's a lot of metal people on there that hate pop music. The thing is that the people in the metal bands, if they watch it, if Misha Mansour from Periphery watched that video, he would be interested in it because he records his own music and he's a pro and he uses synthesizers and he works on a DAW every day. He knows what this is all about. He knows that it's difficult to do. And Max Martin was a metal guy. He was in like a death metal band or something like that when he came and he apprenticed at a studio. And the producer, he apprenticed with a producer. And the producer, the studio owner, I forget, realized that he had a great gift for melody. So, when you're trying to make comparisons between things, a lot of these guys are saying, oh, Tool is great because it's progressive and it's complex. But Tool is actually really simple. There's nothing really progressive or complex about that. If you've played with Vinnie Colaiuta, if you play with people like that or listen to Frank Zappa or Alan Holdsworth and listen to the grooves on those things, the stuff is like baby music. And that's not to diminish Tool or diminish Meshuggah or any bands like that. But you can always find things. It's not about complexity. Complexity is, if it works and it's musical, then it's, you can have things that are incredibly complex that are really musical. You can have things that are really musical that are really simple. And I just look for I try to find the good. Yukis, come on, man. You've said goodnight 3 times, man. I know you're just faking it. Stay up, dude. Go to bed in a little bit. Eat some, have some toast. Anyways, easy to perceive does not mean it's easy to create. Basel, there you go. There you go. And people, Rush, there's a great one. Rush peanut butter, that's better, body knowledge. There you go. Cinnamon toast, okay. Either one I'd take. There you go. Everything is personal taste. That is 100% true. So let's see here. Peanut butter. There you. How important is constantly build songs by addition? That's one of the things I was going to say is that there is that song wasn't that dense, honestly. That song was not. I wouldn't say it was overproduced or anything. It doesn't have that many vocals. It's not like a typical kind of R&B track. There's not a million vocal parts on it. There's very little auto tune on it, and so anyways, it's not dense. Stokes said that thing was not dense. The track was definitely not dense. I didn't think. I mean, it didn't have that many tracks on it. I've worked on tracks. I've had tracks come in here that had people that had 150 tracks that you could barely open the session. And there's plenty of people who do that. When they do an orchestral date for a movie, they'll have 200 tracks. 200 tracks. Think about that. It's very difficult to organize your session when you do that. You have to turn off things. Oh, chops, yes, 150 tracks. Oh, man. I've had things where you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And it's just mess. Out of the 150, you need probably 24 of them, and that's it. That's it. How many tracks does the average rock song have? More than 20. It depends. If I'm producing it, I try to keep it down. Depends how many doublings there are. Tom, when you score, you easily have 200 tracks. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get up to there. For a rock track, I'd say 40 tracks maybe. Something like that. But I will take them and I will subgroup them and mix them into stems, basically, like they're doing. I mean, there were definitely stems. Those keyboard parts were blended. There were a lot of them were left-right stereo, and I could have split them apart. You could have heard the tracks by themselves, but they were split. I would imagine by Max, that they probably committed to a lot of those things before they even went to mix, and those are mixed stems. Those have all the effects on them and stuff. Now, this thing about 9 tracks of guitars and things like that, the more tracks you have, the more weird phasing you can get. Um, it's I think it's if you get two great sounds, you're going to be just as good as having 10 tracks on each side. Um, should the producer help cut down the track counts? Yeah, I mean, look, if you play with if you play with dynamics in your performance, you don't need very many tracks. But you have to. Most people don't. Most producers have to create these things. Um, Two great tracks panned hard. Um, Cherub Rock has many guitars. So the videos I've had with Rhett and my buddy Dave, where I did the Gibson. Is My buddy Dave worked with the Smashing Pumpkins. He worked on the what was the record with not with Tonight? Was it Tonight? No, it was what's the one? Da 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 da. It's the one before Melancholy. Siamese Dream. That's the one. He worked on Siamese Dream. And he helped Billy kind of get his guitar sounds together. He showed him about the big muff. And I'm going to get him on to tell some stories of that. He worked on that record with Butch Vig. And so, yeah. I'm going to get him to talk about that next time he comes in. What was the Fleetwood Mac song I did a video on? Go Your Own Way. Wait, you want to know my opinion on what? I don't know. Can I get Billy Corgan too? Do I record a track? I probably get Billy Corgan. Rick, do I record a track in mono or stereo? Depends, Martin. It depends on what it is. If it's something that has a stereo sound, I can record it in stereo. Or it's something that has a wide footprint, like a drum set, but if something's coming out mono, then you record it in mono. Branyan, I'm taking some prednisone for my hand. It feels great. Totally doing great now. There are many children on my Instagram. How many children do I have? I have 3 children. The Fleetwood Mac double K, it got taken down. There is no Fleetwood Mac. It's on Aaron's website. Anybody that wants to see the Fleetwood Mac, go here. And it's right on the front page. You can see the Fleetwood Mac there. So I really like that one. It's I think it was a really good video. I'm really disappointed. It kind of screws up the it kind of screws it up that I have one thing missing from the series. I mean, it bugs me. I'm a completer. So continuity. Thank you. That's the word, Ray. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to play some music right now. What do you think about that? You guys want to hear some music? Oh, man. What should I play here? What am I going to play? The Lost Episode. There you go. I'm a finisher. Thank you, David. Finisher. What am I going to play? Is it Cannibal Corpse? I'm not going to play Cannibal Corpse this time of night. Billionaire. I don't know, maybe. Let's see here. Play Billionaire. What do I have from Billionaire here? Hmm. I'm not going to play stuff that you can that you can listen to anywhere. I'm going to play stuff that you can't hear anywhere. Let's see here. I thought I put some more stuff in here. Maybe I did. Maybe I just put it on here. What label was Billionaire on? We were on London Sire, and then Universal. What can I play here? I don't really have that much stuff on this computer. Oh, you know what? I have the other computer I can link to, I think, right? Wasn't that the deal? I think I did that before. I played stuff off the other computer somehow. But I can't remember. I did meet Seymour Stein, Body Knowledge, yes. Let's see here. I think it's weird. Weird. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe the other computer is not on or something. Yeah, I don't think it's on. Networking. It'll never take off. Harvey Danger. I knew the guys in Harvey Danger. Man, I can't find anything there. I'm not going to play Peter Gabriel, David. You can listen to that anytime. I did do a cover of The Chain a long time ago with Carmen singing and with my buddy Jason singing. They sang together. What else do I have in here? Play us the best guitar player ever recorded. I don't know who that would be. Okay, here's what I'm gonna play. I think that maybe I'll play one of Alan's songs that we did. Oh, I think I know it's a good one. I got a good one to play here. Let me see here. Let's see. Here we go. Bandcamp. Okay, this is a band I worked with a long time ago that I really like. You've got YouTube. Hurry. What'd you say? Hurry what? What? Hold on. Wait. Wait, what? There we go. I put you in timeout. Do that again and you're gone. Man. Annoying. Let's see here. This is a band called Our Wild Love that I really dig, that I produced.
You had a simple life, the kind that just felt so right, unburdened and dead to rights. It went on and on and on. And beneath the shades of grey, it's a place where your heart won't cave. It gets borrowed but never played. It goes on and on and on. This was your place, and that was your song, and those were the kids that kept you so strong. Don't let the city lights wrap its loving arms around you. You can't afford to lose yourself to all this beauty and its grace. Blow out those pretty lights, they do their best to find you. You can't afford to lose yourself to all the beauty without grace.
This is a band I produced about 6 years ago.
And buildings that fit just right, showered warm from the neon lights. Dust settles beyond your sight. It goes on and on and on. Morning it pulls you away from the bed you just can't escape. Rose-colored and copper tasted. Went on and on and on. No song to sing, and now all alone. Windows are dark, and that's what's so wrong. Don't let the city lights wrap its loving arms around you. You can't afford to lose yourself to all the beauty and the grace. Blow out those pretty lights, they do their best to find you. You can't afford to lose yourself to all the beauty without grace. Nothing controls you, owns you, holds you. Nothing controls you, owns you, holds you. Don't let the city lights wrap its loving arms around you. You can't afford to lose yourself to all the beauty and the grace. Blow out those pretty lights, they do their best to find you. You can't afford to lose yourself to all the beauty without grace. Don't let the city lights wrap its loving arms around you. You can't afford to lose yourself to all the beauty and the grace. Blow out those pretty lights, they do their best to find you. You can't afford to lose yourself to all the beauty without grace.
Are there any real drums on that track? Oh man, I have no idea. I can't remember back that far. Um, so as a producer, you have to make sure they're melodined for release. Um, the That's not melodined vocals. I don't even own. Oh, sorry. Those are not melodined vocals. Um, no, but you know, that was a killer track. It was a really good album, but people don't. I mean, this is annoying when I say I already fixed the volume, but it's like 8 seconds late. Um, Must have put in a louder. Somebody asked. It's not out. No, it's not auto tuned. No way. Duke is a great singer. Um, the He's a killer singer. Who mastered it? My assistant Ken. He masters just about everything. But the band did nothing. They put out the record for free and broke up. They just did it because were they live claps? Probably not. The band was called Our Wild Love, but they never played a gig. And the singer Duke is working in real estate in New York City now. Yeah, never did anything. How would that song have been different if I recorded it 20 years ago? I don't know. It's hard to say. Not good businessmen, I see. No, they. Okay. My God, Journey of Your Heart. Boom. It's interesting though that everybody seems to want to categorize every song that they hear. They immediately have to categorize it. They have to say it sounds like this, it sounds like that. Now, granted, he does have a Bono-esque quality to his voice. There's nothing Chris Martin about his voice. I'll say that. So, and I wish that Coldplay did songs like that. But this is one of the problems with music is that that people need to put a frame of reference on it. They can't just listen. And I think it goes kind of to the listening habits of people. I don't remember when I was a kid saying, when I got the new Van Halen record or the new Police record, this sounds like that, and naming 20 bands. We just listened to it, you know? Classification is fun. I mean, if something's really derivative, okay, but why not just listen to it? Same with A&R people. Well, that's their job. They want it to sound like something else. Did I see the movie Casino? Did I compare it to Goodfellas? I watched both movies. I didn't really think about it. I just watch them and know if I like it or not. But please note, I mentioned drums and ask about the vocal mic. I find that most people that I know that are successful in music don't just as soon as they hear something categorize it. I think it comes back from my thing with my dad, where I watched how he listened to music, and he listened to music by just sitting there and listening to it. Both sides. That's what we would do together. We get a record and we just listen to it. Not, No, I think the classification dark flash comes from people having playlists and things like iTunes forcing you to categorize your music. People don't listen to they just don't listen anymore. You know, they don't enjoy it. They have to just get on there and just write down everything that they think that something sounds like. But Ray, you only categorize if it's something that sounds familiar. Well, you can probably think that everything sounds familiar. People said it sounded like Chris Martin, and it doesn't sound anything like Chris Martin. So, Bono, that's a fair comparison. Duke definitely has a Bono-esque quality to his voice. You don't think it's quite true, Double K. You always categorize, but you're still listening. Okay. All right. Whatever you say. Nothing wrong with hearing Peep's influences. People are influenced. Try to categorize Zappa. Well, people that are really original, that are groundbreaking, Alan Holdsworth didn't sound like anybody. He didn't. But he didn't have a lot of people that liked his music either. That's one of the things with not sounding like anyone, is that they can't, if they can't categorize it, they can't sell it. You can't mass market it. That's the thing, right? Yeah, some of the greats have a unique sound. Holdsworth was unique, right? You don't sit around and say Holdsworth sounded like blah, 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 right? You don't. Or Zappa. Geddy Lee's voice, nothing sounded like that. But unfortunately, you can't go around. There's not that many people that sound unique like that. When I play Iden's music or Matheny's music, there's nothing that sounds like that. Or the Beatles. There really isn't. Who sounds like the Grateful Dead? There's people that try to sound like the Grateful Dead. Nobody sounds like Freddie Mercury, I'll tell you that. Nobody sounds like Queen. But you can say that they sounded like Coldplay, no offense. All right, George. They don't sound anything like Coldplay. You obviously don't know Coldplay. Who sounds like the Who? Nobody sounds like the Who. Did I say anybody sound like the Who? Charlie Parker. Time out. Who sounds like the Grateful? No, the Who does not sound like the Grateful Dead. Branyan, I feel like a lot of people no longer listen to albums. They just listen to visual songs. Well, that's very true. What's up, Elliot? Good to see you. It was easier to sound original before, there was, in rock music, before there was 60 years of rock. When Charlie Parker and Dizzy were playing bebop, I mean, there were precursors to bebop. There was, Mozart's early pieces had more elements of, of people like Haydn. And one note, and it's Miles. That's what Elliot says. I was listening to Milestones today at dinner to that record. and and ba, 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 ba. And he I was thinking that exact same thing. It just there's just nothing that sounds like Miles. Nobody. Um, what is this? Who is this guy here? My God. Bye, Leo. Iden's improvisations remind you of Rick Wakeman. Well, you don't really know much about music then. If they remind you of Rick Wakeman, no offense to Rick Wakeman, but they're nothing like Rick Wakeman. My God, you know, Iden's. I mean, that's a joke, right? Oh, brother. That's I mean, absurd. Unless there's some Rick Wakeman that I don't know about, that he I will say this for Rick Wakeman. I mean, Rick Wakeman is a great player, and he's hysterically funny. Does Rick Wakeman have the technical talent of Iden? Come on. Give me a break. No. Rick Wakeman doesn't have the technical thing of Joey DeFrancesca. I mean, God. And I love Rick Wakeman, but there's no comparison between these, between these rock guys and the jazz guys and the Keith Emersons and stuff, Man, unbelievable. It's anyways, that's Trolls on Parade. I love Rick Wakeman, don't get me wrong though. And ELP, love it. But these guys are rock guys. How big is the gap in learning between rock and jazz? It depends on who you are. Double K, you weren't suggesting you did. You're just saying it's absurd to compare Wakeman to Ina when he can't come close to playing the same stuff. Well, of course, yeah. Just like comparing Dwayne Allman to Alan Holdsworth or something. I mean, they're totally different things. Totally different things. And it might not even be a good comparison. Rick Wakeman and Joey DeFrancesca. Do you know who Joey DeFrancesca is? Or Jimmy Smith? Or something. No, Joey DeFrancesca, because Joey DeFrancesca has incredible chops and plays apples and oranges. Like comparing Petrucci and Matheny. That's not the same. I don't think that's the same because because Matheny can improvise on much more difficult things. And I love John Petrucci, but Matheny, there's no comparison between their improvisational abilities. So there's just nothing alike. John 5 to Trey Anastasio. Well, there you go. I mean, this is like absurd. It's absurd. They're absurd, comparisons. But the Iden to Rick Wakeman is I mean, that is beyond absurd. I mean, you could compare Herbie and Chick Corea, okay, and then you get into apples and oranges, as far as their influences, the kinds of things that they play. Um, it's that's an interesting thing. You know, if you think about um, their playing has more similarities than Keith Jarrett and Chick, or Keith Jarrett and Herbie. Um, so that's um, okay. So you guys know Joey DeFrancesco. Okay, great. Um, don't look for wisdom on YouTube. Wakeman did a Christmas. Rick Wakeman is hysterically funny. Um, he is really hysterically funny. He has an interview show that I think is that he was doing that was great. Um, but I love these organ players that can really cook. I got to say though, I mean, when I hear Joey play, when I hear Jimmy Smith or Mel Ryan, I love great organ playing. Man, it's so good. Joey DeFrancesca, Double K, is somebody that the Hall of Fame speech, Brett. Yes, it was unbelievable, right? Look up Yes getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and look up Rick Wakeman's speech. It's absolutely hysterically funny. Um, Amazing, really amazing. Um, Chick to Keith, maybe. I don't think George. I think that Chick to Keith. I think Herbie and Keith are more similar. Chick and Keith. Um, Keith's playing is just very different than those guys. But they obviously they're all around the same age. A lot of them had the same influences, you know. So there it is from Joe. Joe put it on there. Awesome. Zawinul and Chick, maybe. Um, Zawinul is just so pentatonic-y. Jan Hammer and Chick, no, they don't have the same amount of information. Bill Evans was very unique, of course. Joey plays John McLaughlin off the stage. He's just so smoking, man. There's a great video that there's a lot of great Joey videos. I can't imagine. Oh yeah, when Pat Martino won, I talk about that. Oh man, it's so cooking. One that he's playing at it's a live gig with they're playing Oleo together, and just to see his hands just float on top of the keys. You know, the organ doesn't have any there's no has no resistance. Or Corey Henry. I love Corey Henry. There's another series comparing musicians. That's interesting. I don't know. That's interesting. Um, You know, I was thinking about a series. I'm not sure. I don't know Dick Hyman Dundo, but I know his playing. He's a great player. Um, Not a weighted keyboard. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Um, Alan, have I done anything on Joe Pass? I've talked about Joe Pass. Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff on Joe Pass actually. Um, um, so I thought about a series called Start to Finish, about albums. My brother gave me this idea about records that are great from start to finish. I mentioned that on here before, I think. Um, you know, that are classic albums, but talk about each of the songs. There's a handful of those albums that are great. That are great. That are great records from start to finish. Um, Perfect albums, yeah. I mean, if I think of there's rock albums or jazz albums. Bright Size Life is a great jazz record. Um, Dark Side of the Moon, The Joshua Tree, Revolver, uh, and Rubber Soul, and pretty much every Beatles record's like that. The White Album. Um, uh, Who's Next, or oh my God, I mean, the first four Zeppelin records, the first Van Halen record, pretty much any of the Police records, not Queen, Night of the Opera by Queen, Kind of Blue, Moments Notice, or Blue Train, Giant Steps, Hotel California, Rumors, Nevermind, every song great. I love the first Pearl Jam record. Um, um, yeah, so they're concept albums. That's really what it is. It's really Lamb Lies Down. Dr. Robert, not that great. Oh, I know. I saw that. I ignored that. No bad songs. Back in Black. Boom. OK Computer, totally with you on that. No bad songs. Super Unknown, totally agree. No bad songs. Nothing Like the Sun, love that record. I love the I mean, really, most of the classic bands that are I could say there's a lot of them. Not many people. Metallica Black Album, Asia, Synchronicity, all great records. Beach Boys have them. The Boston record is killer like that. They obviously the Stones. I mean, it's Exile on Main Street. I can listen to that front to back. Pet Sounds. So I mean, there's a lot of them, but if you think about the history of, I love that Southern Harmony record by the Black Crowes. Is a killer record. Sticky Fingers, I'll go with that too. What's up, Hassan? Anything recent you call beginning to end album? I'd have to, hard to say. I mean, the one of the other things, this front to back record, beginning to end, whatever you call it, is that they have to have a sonic signature. I think that's a thing. Frampton Comes Alive is a great one. There's no bad songs on that. Jocko's first record, I love that. How to do that on YouTube? I don't know if it can be done on YouTube. That's the problem. I'm not sure it can be done. That's more like a class or something. That would be a fascinating class. I love Farewell to Kings by Rush. The Doors. I mean, there's just, there's, I mean, I've got jazz records that I think are just incredible front to back, like Wes Montgomery, Full House record, or Boss Guitar. Blood Sugar Sex Magic is a killer record. Incredibly consistent from front to back, and has a sonic signature all the way. Sweet Baby James Taylor. A lot of Miles records are, and they're kind of in a class by themselves in a way. Like I said, I listen to Milestones today. On the Corner by Miles. Yeah, that's a great record, Elliot. Um, I Man, there's so many Miles records. Miles is almost in a class by himself. That he has so many. Paul Simon, totally true. Graceland, yes. I love the Cure Disintegration record too. Tom Petty, his Full Moon Fever is a killer front to back record. Um, Milestones was a transitional record. You know, I never thought about that song, about the tune Milestones, that it's really a that it's it's just a modal tune. I've never thought of it like that. Peter Gabriel, So, I agree with you, Tom. That's incredibly consistent. One of the things that Daniel Lanois and Brian Eno, Daniel Lanois produced So, is that he had a Jeff Buckley, Maurizio, you're right about that, Grace. That is a killer front to back. You know, a lot of it is the producers not settling for songs that can't make a record, and the band's writing enough songs where you don't have any filler tracks. You know, the Police would have a filler track. You know, they'd have an Andy Summers track on there or something. Stuart Copeland's contributions were actually some really good songs. But on Synchronicity, there's no fillers. No fillers. Jimmy Page said Grace was up there as one of my favorite albums of the decade. Grace is an amazing record. Absolutely amazing. I'll do a Jeff Buckley video too. Joe Pass Virtuoso. Caleb, you win on that. Joe Pass Virtuoso is one of the most consistent straight front to back records that I know. One of my favorites. Absolutely. REM has a couple records like that. Jay, I agree. The Ramones, the Cars, All Killer, No Filler. That's a pretty good title. I like that. All Killer, No Filler. I gotta write that down. Double K. That's pretty good here. Hold on. All Killer. Did you make that up just now? No filler? All Killer, No Filler. Oh, that's pretty smoking, I gotta say. You didn't come up with it? Oh man. That's a good one though. Whoever came up with it, that's a good one. Van Halen, 1. Forget it. Amazing. So, Continuum with John Mayer. Blow by Blow was a great record. The First America record is a great record. I was thinking about Blow by Blow because I think that's George Martin, and so is the First America record. George Martin had a good habit of making incredibly consistent records. All Killer, No Filler is Sum 41. Oh man, we can't use it then. Anyways, my opinion on Ravi Shankar. Come on, man. What would be my opinion? Great. Okay, this is going too fast for me now. I can't follow all this. Oh, I'm getting a headache. Their record, all killer no filler, had filler on it. That's hilarious. How do you even know Double K? How do you know Sum 41? That is funny. Um, all right, I'm good for tonight. This is awesome. I got a lot of great ideas actually here for videos. I have a lot of good. This is actually really helpful tonight because um, because I think that there's a lot of really cool things I can get from this. You guys gave me a lot of really good ideas for videos, so thank you for that. Yeah, this is great. All right, everybody. I'll see you maybe tomorrow, maybe not. We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for everything. We're gonna hit 300,000 this week in a few days. We're already up over 295. So, and the new Beato book, updated version, within 2 days.